Jason from Let's Automate. Today we're going to look at Parabola. So Parabola is a great tool for automation if you've not used it already. And what it's really good at is if you're working with data. So if you're taking data from multiple sources, so multiple Excel spreadsheets, and you're trying to amalgamate them together, and then make changes to those spreadsheets, update those spreadsheets, and then maybe output them to somewhere else, then you can automate that whole process. So it can save you a lot of time. If it's something that you're interested in looking at or learning more about, then stay tuned and we'll dive straight in. Okay, so we're logged into Parabola now and we have a blank sheet. So in Parabola, you create flows. So a flow is just a workflow. So it starts with a blank piece of paper and then we start to design and connect all the data together. So on the right hand side here, you can see we have recommended, sources, transforms, and destinations. So we're going to start with sources. So where's the information going to come from? So in our case, we're going to pull in a CSV file. So we just drag and drop that on there, double click it to configure, and then we select a file. So if we click show updated results, it's going to bring in the file and the data we have. So we have some data here. We have a parent name, child name. These are booking times. We have contract IDs, cancelled, record IDs, hourly rate, etc. So we have some data. Okay, and we want to do something with that data. So if we look in there, we have columns that we're not interested in. So we're not interested in these record IDs, the blank ones. So first of all, we're going to do a column filter to get rid of those columns. So if we drag that in there, and we can say what we want to keep or remove. So we're going to go for keep. We don't need key because we have child name. So we're going to start with parent, child name, booking start and end. We want the rate per hour. What else do we want? We want the contract ID. We want cancelled, and that will do us. So if we click show updated results, we can see that we have just the columns we want. So if we look at input, which is the data before and the data now. Okay, so we also, if we look at the data, we have some cancelled bookings here. So we want to filter them out. So we're going to add in a row filter. And we're going to say anything with cancelled equals blank we want to keep. So if we look there, we have two that was cancelled and we've just filtered them out. You can add multiple rules in there as well. So we filtered that out. What do we want to do next? If we look at the data again, so we have the rate per hour here, but it's not in a pound sterling format, currency format. So we want to do, I think it's called a number format, yeah. So if we drag that in there and we want to format rate per hour and we want it to be pound and we want 2 decimal places. So we can see the data transform there. So we now have £3.80. And also we want to work out the cost. So the cost is going to be the rate per hour times the hours. So we need to work out the difference between the start time and the end time. So to do that, we have a date comparison module. We drag that into there. And we call this cost. We don't call this cost, we call it hours. And we want the number of hours between the start and the end. So you can do lots here. You could choose current time. So if you want to compare something with today, how long ago this was, you could choose current time. But we're just interested in getting the hours back from there. So if we click on here, we should have at the end the number of hours now. So now we can do our costs. So we can do number of hours times rate per hour. So to do that, we have a math step. So we drag and connect that, and we call this cost. So we have rate per hour times hours, and we have a cost of 7.6. So the next thing we want to do is change this into currency too. So if we close this, we can add, just to make some space over here, we can add another number formatter in there. And this time we want to change the cost to pound, and again 2 decimal places. So there we have the rate per hour. The next thing we want to do is order the columns a little bit. So we do a column reorder. And so we want, let's have a look, we want child name first, followed by parent, booking start, booking end, rate per hour, number of hours, total cost, and then contract ID and cancelled. Show. So I've noticed on here as well, cancelled is spelt wrong. So we could either remove it because we don't need it now, but just for demonstration, I will show you what you can do. So you could just choose a column rename in here. So we're going to rename the column cancelled to cancelled. Show results. Okay, so we have the data how we want it. We want it in the order. We've got it in the order we want it. We've got the currency okay. So we've got everything we need in there now. So now we want to output it to a destination. So we've got various different destinations here. The one we're going to look at is Google Sheets. So we drag that across and we attach. We've got a red error on here now. This is because we need to authenticate with Google Sheets. So if we click on this, it says we're not authorized. We need to connect our Google account. So we're going to do that now. Okay, so we're now authorized. We can now choose a file. We're going to create a new file. We're going to call it bookings costings. We're just going to call the sheet costs. We can decide whether to overwrite or append to an existing sheet. So we're going to click on that. And now we have a Google Sheet. So if we look at what we've done, we've taken the information from a CSV, we've filtered out the information we don't need, so the columns, the rows, we've formatted the numbers, we've created a column with the number of hours between the two dates, we've then calculated the rate per hour, and we've got the full cost, and then we've formatted that to currency, reordered the columns, and then renamed that column, and then output. So that's it. I mean, that's a simple one. You can get very creative with this. There's lots of different transforms in there you can do. So if you're doing something with spreadsheets currently or data currently, then and it's repetitive, then you can probably automate it all with this. So all you do then is just publish, and then you'd schedule this to run overnight. So it would pick up the CSV file. Again, if you have multiple CSV files, we can connect them all together and then run the formatting and output it. So in the morning, you've got your Google Sheet ready for the next day. So I hope that's been useful. It's been very useful for me. If you have any questions, then get in touch, and thank you for listening.